First of all, I hope everyone had a pleasant lunch. Upon reviewing the motion over the weekend and then hearing the beginnings of argument, I thought this was a pretty straightforward yes or no decision by the court, until we got to the defense's argument suggesting their prayers for relief. And one of the prayers for relief was that the court move to some other jurisdiction, select a jury from that community, I guess put them all on the bus, bring them up here, put them in a hotel, and try the case with them. There is no way in the world that I would ever consider doing that to anybody, period. It's going to be hard enough if we stay here or we go somewhere else on jurors to be on a long case in a jury room all day away from family and business and other things, but still be able to go home in the evening. But to pick people up out of a community totally strange to our community, select them, and then take them away for 4 to 6 months and put them in a hotel here, away from family, friends, what business they might be able to conduct over the evening hours or over the weekends. I mean, if we did that, we would work through the weekends, because I'm not going to do that to other people. So that is just a non-start. That is just not going to happen. So I discussed the logistics of a change of venue with the court administrator, Mr. Sharon, who's here. And there are a lot of things I want both sides to start thinking about. Who is going to accept us? So where are we going? It is not going to be a metro area. It can't be. So we're going to be out possibly in some rural area. What kind of accommodations are there going to be for us? It's not that we can't do this. Venue is changed regularly, but y'all need to think about this. Think about the expense to the taxpayers. I want you to think about the wear and tear on all of us if we pick up and go somewhere else. And witnesses traveling up and down the highway, because it's not like we're going to go to Macon. I don't see that as a possibility. That's not too bad. I've done a change of venue case in Macon. It's an hour and a half down the road. What about security in a courthouse where people have not been exposed to media coverage of this case? There are courthouses in Georgia that have no security. They don't even have air conditioning. And that's true. Not many, but I know at least one exists. The press. There is a tent city. You can see it out my window. So what about them? If we take up all the hotel rooms, where are they going? Of course, they have big fancy vans. I guess they can sleep in their van. I don't know. I've never been in one. We are talking about the likelihood we end up in possibly a rural community with very limited amenities away from our support system. Now, last Thursday or Friday in Chambers, we had an in-Chambers meeting, and it was very productive. We talked about scheduling items, which we can do off record. And I suggested that you all consider looking at some of these early challenges for cause that I denied, and perhaps you all coming to some agreements. You've gotten to where you are much, I don't know the word for it. I would say sync. Y'all have gotten into sync about making these decisions. You've done an excellent job, in my opinion, of being collaborative. And that was the term I was using, collaborative. I think you've actually been extraordinary in being collaborative, working together, coming to discerning the very places that you cannot agree on and bringing those to me, but otherwise agreeing with one another. So you've identified 6 jurors, and apparently it's down to 5 now, that you have concerns of or concerns about. And I'm going to task you right now to go out and talk with one another and see where you go. And if you can agree and we can move forward with jury selection, I'm fine with that. And if you can't agree, then I have before me the motion for change of venue, and I have it under advisement, and I'll make a decision. So I'm going to ask that Ms. Matthews tell jurors to call back at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to, let you all have some time to work on this. Not really going to put a deadline on the time. When I begin to feel like it's time for something to happen, I'll just simply send for you. All right, this court stands in recess. And Mr. Sharon's here available to answer questions about the logistics of the caravan as it goes down to wherever.